One of the great things about working here at Disney is that you will always have stories, and you will definitely have stories going home with. Um, Two stories that happened recently. One is just about a little kid. I was working at the Haunted Mansion. I was working as gatekeeper, which means I'm outside the gates welcoming people in. And there's a little boy. He's probably around the age of 3, maybe younger. And he comes up to me and hugs my legs. And then he backs up and just smiles, and he looks to his mom and says, "I just wanted to hug her." And I smile, and he's like, and then the mom said, "Well, you have to ask her to hug first." And I'm like, "Oh," and then he just walk away, which makes me think of the first time I got hugged. I was doing a parade shift, which means I was working on Main Street, getting ready for the Celebrate You parade. And there was a little boy, and he was dressed like Peter Pan. He had the little Peter Pan hat and everything. And me and his mother were talking, and the little boy, and he was just so excited. He was jumping up and down and everything. And then I told him, "Hey, Peter Pan's gonna be in here." He's like, "Really?" And then he hugged my legs, and he was even more excited. And I was like, "Oh my gosh, I hope I'm not wrong," because I knew Peter Pan was in there. But the thing is, he was standing right where the very beginning of the parade was going to be, and Peter Pan was at the end of the parade. So I'm like, "Oh, I hope he gets to see him." I think he did, but that was a cute story too. Anyway, the next story is what happened today. It was hilarious. Today at the Haunted Mansion. Alright, sometimes we get to act creepy and get away with it. Or we get to be kind of rude and get away with it. Like when people are getting into the expanding rooms, and there's a bunch of people, we're trying to fit them all in, get them claustrophobic, blah, blah, blah. We'll sometimes say, push and shove. You don't know these people, you'll never see them again, just keep on moving, stuff like that. Well, one of the guys at work, he takes it to the extreme. He is really funny. Well, in comes this one guest, and he starts talking to him. I'm not sure what he said, but eventually he realized that he was a cast member because he had his ID hanging out of his pants. And, okay, so there's two different kinds of cast members that I know of. There's hourly cast members and salaried cast members. Hourly has a yellow card, which means, you're doing the normal everyday job. You get paid by the hour. Salaried cast members are the higher end cast members who have more important jobs. And there are blue cards. So this guy sees that the guest has a blue ID card, which means he's salaried. He's like, "Oh, a blue card, right this way." So later on, he was told that that guest was the president of the Disneyland resort. And then he started freaking out, worrying that he was going to lose his job because he just was acting like, was not acting the appropriate way if you saw the president of the Disneyland resort. So, these people asked him, like, "No, did the president laugh along when you said this?" He said, "Yeah," and they were like, "Well, was it a laugh like you were really funny laughing, or was it like, I'm just laughing because you said something," but he wasn't really going along with it. He's like, "It happened all so fast that I don't remember," and he was just freaking out that he was going to lose his job, and he was really worried. And then a little bit later, 5 security officers come walking in, and a lead is like a manager, sort of, sort of, on a regular job, but here they're leads. They're the person in charge of the area that working during the day. So the lead tells him that those security officers are coming after him, and he believed them. And I thought that was just so funny. But those security officers ended up being in training, so they were all just walking around, checking out how things work. But in the end, it was just hilarious. He played around with the president of the Disneyland resort, and he just freaked out. Yeah, so funny story. Had to share it with you.